Hey Olive, Arlo, and Frank. Greetings to you from the Big Easy from New Orleans. Olive, I'm about a little less than a mile away from you, and we actually met you last night. You opened your eyes a little bit and tried to see us. You can only see like 8 inches in front of your face right now. You smiled at me and you smiled at your grandmother too, and we're just so happy to have you in our family. We're gonna try to leave your parents alone today, but I'm sure we're gonna bug them and be over there a lot. So I'm outside the Airbnb, and today I want to talk to you about hobbies. Now, I've always filled my life with too many things. And some of those things have been hobbies. As a matter of fact, a lot of them have been hobbies. Although, when I have a job, I work that job very, very hard. Now I'm making the YouTube videos. I work on that all the time. I mean, I brought a guitar with me and did a lot of prep work for this trip. So even though I'm coming here to meet you, I'm going to try to shoot some videos while I'm here. Now, you may know this about me, but I'm an expert on efficiency, in my own mind at least. But I'm good enough that I produced a course on Udemy for efficiency for managers called One Small Step Efficiency for Managers. And I get really, really good reviews. I'm up to about 870 students right now. Don't be impressed. It's a free course. But one reason that I'm an efficiency expert is because I have struggled with efficiency my whole life. I'm just one of these people. My friend Mike McGilvray called me an idea sharpshooter. Like, I just stand up on the mountain and go like, pew, 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 pew. I come up with all these fantastic ideas. But then it's very hard for me to go to the next step and make those ideas into something plausible. And time is vaporous. Trust me, I'll be 70 in 2 weeks. It seems like yesterday that I was watching my sons, Tom and Frank, as little babies like you. It definitely seems like yesterday with you, Arlo, and even with you, Frank. It seems like yesterday with that, holding you guys the first time when you were babies. So I decided that I once again had too many hobbies, because what happens is you have a full-time job and you work a whole bunch of years, then you retire. If you're like me, I now have another full-time job. I make YouTube videos full-time. I get up in the morning, I work on that, I do some of it during the day. I work as hard at this as I did being an appeals team manager. So I decided that I would take a look at all my hobbies, and I would say, okay, what advances me in my mission or to help me maintain my health? And also, okay, so right now I have a full-time job with the YouTube videos, but I just spent an enormous amount of money getting brand new teeth. And I don't want those to start falling out of my mouth. So I have a part-time job of taking care of my teeth. Like, it's maybe 4 times a day. I'm in the bathroom doing stuff with my teeth, flossing, brushing, cleaning the temporaries that I have. I can take half my teeth out. And I narrowed it down, besides the YouTube videos and the full-time job of that, the part-time job of maintaining my teeth, that I had 16 hobbies. I probably have more than that, but 16 of them, and that's way too much. You have some people that, you know, I work a full-time job and then I go golfing, and my family still thinks I don't spend enough time with them. Well, I have 16 of these things. And I looked at it to either simplify them or to get rid of them, to cull the herd, thin out the herd. Every once in a while you have to do that. So here they are, number 1. Hashtag Vanagon Life. The Vanagon is a lot of fun, but it has no air conditioning. I just did a video on this. Adios, hashtag Vanagon Life. I am now getting something simpler to maintain and more efficient, and something that gets me to see you, Olive, and you, Arla, on a regular basis. Something that if I break down 300 miles from home, I just have to take it to a local shop and have them gouge me too much money to fix it. The next is I've always wanted to be a gourmet chef. Your grandmother and I we're foodies. We watch Beat Bobby Flay and all kinds of different food shows. We love food shows. We figured out that you have to watch those food shows while you're eating, or you just get too hungry and you wind up snacking on crap. But I realized that I needed to simplify it. Instead of me, making a mole, which takes forever, and it keeps me from doing all the other things that I need to do, that I would do simple meals. So a lot of times grandmother just has leftovers, and she says, just heat up leftovers. I cook 3 times a week, she cooks 4 times a week. Although on Sunday, usually we work on it together, so it turns out 3.5 and 3.5. It works out well. And so one of the things that I try to do is I have a salad. That's simple to make a salad. And then a protein that I cook. So it could be shrimp. Put the shrimp on the salad. Make some sort of a sandwich out of, like a minute steak sandwich with a salad. Some fried onions. I now, instead of making spice mixtures, I use pre-made mixes. If I want Mexican, I just buy something Mexican. We have Moroccan seasoning. We have like 3 different Mexican seasonings. We have harissa, which is Tunisian. We have Chinese 5-spice. If I need those type spices, I might be able to make them better, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to be spending my time on that. I don't want to say wasting my time. I don't need to be spending my time on it. And then I love to smoke meats, but first off, I need a new smoker. I want to get a big green egg. We're talking $700 just to get in the front door with the size that I need. And so I found out that until we save up to get the big green egg, which I'd like to get eventually, that we can do the same thing in a crock pot that you do in a smoker. Is it absolutely as good? It's pretty good, let me tell you that. It might not be perfect. So the next, number 3, is surfing. And I say that I'm a surfer, but I haven't been out in the water in probably 2 years. I've had an injury and stuff. I have 2 new boards. I have a boogie board. I haven't even been out on my boogie board. I have Churchill fins with my boogie board. And kids, I'm going to be teaching you how to surf. I'm going to be teaching you how to boogie board. I'm going to teach you all this stuff. I live 2 blocks from the beach, but I'm not getting out there. And that's okay. I walk every day. I'm in decent shape for an old geezer. And I get the exercise that I need. I'd like to get out there more, but if I can't, I can't. I now have an inflatable stand-up paddleboard, and I haven't been able to get out on that as much as I wanted to because of the injury, but now I'm going to start doing that. And when I go someplace and do my ice up, then I shoot videos during it. And to go back to the smoking meat, like when I start smoking meat again, I'm going to be shooting videos in the backyard with the smoker in the background, just so that I can get that done and watch the barbecue grill at the same time. And the same thing with this. Go there. Now the stand-up paddleboard helps with my ankles, and my injury was to my Achilles tendon on the left side, and now the right one's starting to act up. So I need that strengthening, and when you stand on a stand-up paddleboard, it helps with that. So I'm going to keep that in there. If I get out surfing, I get out surfing. My neighbor Tony might say, hey Frank, let's go surfing, and we'll throw the boards in our vans and go. Although I have to throw it in his van now because I don't have one. But ice supping, I definitely want to continue doing that. Baking, I love to bake. But I started going down a lot of rabbit holes. Sourdough bread tastes delicious, but it's very labor intensive. You have to feed the starter every day. When you go on vacation, your starter dies. You have to revive it. There's just, it takes a couple hours a day for a couple days to make maybe 2 or 4 loaves of sourdough. There's also too much cleanup involved in it. Well, there's a thing called a bread maker, and I love to make other kinds of bread too. I make naan bread, and I'll continue to do that. I have this thing where you make a couple pounds of dough and you leave it in the refrigerator. It's a no-knead mixture, and you can use it for up to 2 weeks. I'm going to continue to do that and make naan bread for your grandmother, and I make them, they're salted, and they, sometimes I even put everything bagel herbs on there, so they're delicious. They taste kind of like pretzels in a way. But grandmother just bought me a bread maker for my birthday, and with that, you put the bread in, you set the timer, it mixes the bread, and then it makes the bread, and I have this rack that you put it on and you slice it down, and we're gonna have bread. It'll be minimal effort for me to have fresh bread, so especially a Sunday night dinner, fresh bread. When I get the new grill, pizza dough. I'm going to be making pizza dough. Those are simple things, but I just don't have the time to do the sour bread, and now I can get into just everyday baking because I'm going to have that bread maker. Number 6 is fermenting foods. Fermented food is really, really good for you, and you can ferment all kinds of things. You can pickle hard-boiled eggs. You'll see them in the supermarket. There's the classics like sauerkraut and kimchi, and I love those things. I'm still going to do every quarter, I'm going to buy some veggies, and I'm just going to ferment them. But other than that, I'm just buying the stuff. When I need the preserved lemons for Moroccan food and Tunisian food and stuff like that, I'm just going to buy them. There's a plethora of worldwide markets around the Jacksonville area that we can get the things that we need. So I'm only going to do that a little bit. I had gotten really into it. I had all kinds of jars all over the house. The whole house was a science experiment, as your grandmother said. The next one is brewing beer. I drink a lot of beer. Probably have guessed that. Probably see me with one. I don't have one now. It's only 11 a.m. Although it's noon back on the East Coast. I can buy really good beer. It's fun when you're in a place like New Orleans, or we were in Buc-ee's in Mobile, Alabama, near Mobile, Alabama yesterday, and I bought a local beer from Southern Alabama. I don't know anything about the company. I probably will never go there. The beer's good. The beer's good. They make beer. Every once in a while, it would make something really spectacular, but it was more expensive and really time-consuming. So I gave all that stuff to Tom. So Arlo, maybe your first beer is going to be a homebrew with your dad, and that's good. That's good. The next one is number 8, bicycling. I started getting nicer bikes, and then I was going on these 30, 40-mile rides, and then once a year I was doing a mile for each year of my birthday. This year I might do a half mile, and so it's 35 miles. And I'll do it on my actual birthday. I'll get up early and I'll just get on the bike and go. I'll stop someplace and have coffee halfway through and then come back. But now I just use the bike essentially for transportation. And that's a good thing. It gets your heart rate up, gets you breathing, get a little bit of exertion, and you run errands. Number 9, fishing. We got to Jacksonville Beach 3 years ago. Oh, I'm a surf fisherman. I was buying books. I was watching YouTube videos. I was buying crap at the fishing supply stores. So I have 3 rods, a cart, all kinds of stuff. I'm now going to just get up in the morning, 1 day a week, and take 1 rod. I'm going to make the best rod and reel combination out of all of them. I'm going to sell the other ones, or maybe put them up in the attic for when you guys are visiting, so I can teach you how to fish and you can come down and fish with me. But I'm just going to fish for a couple hours, and if I catch something, clean it, eat it, go on to the next thing. Number 10, jogging. Now you're probably thinking, Grandpa, how come jogging wasn't the first thing you talked about? You've been running since the mid-1980s. You've run 46 marathons. Running is in your blood. Well, yeah, but guess what? Injuries are stopping me from it. The doctor told me, you need to stop running. I was mad. I didn't say to him what I was thinking, but it wasn't nice. It wasn't pretty. Grandpa has a potty mouth sometimes. But after physical therapy, trying to build up the run again, I could see that the injury was starting to come back, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it to be stubborn. So number 11, I was already hiking. Hiking is the new running. I can go hiking. I can get in, I would get in the van again, go to a local park that had a nice hiking trail. I would sit down, shoot a video, go for a hike, come back, maybe have some lunch in the van again. If it was late enough, I might pop a beer, sit there, make another video. That works too. You have to do more walking than running to burn the same calories, but you can't have everything in life. I'll just have to do more walking. Number 12 is guitar. This is a funny one. There have been times in my life when I've played the crap out of my guitar, and there's been times that it's sat there for years and I never touched it. I need it. I'm making videos with guitar in it, so it's the one thing that I'm adding back in there. But it how did I put it? Advances me in my vision. It advances me in my vision. So I need more of that. I need it. Number 13 is diving. I started diving when I was 62. I did a video on this, Adios Scuba Diving. Frankie and you and your Uncle Tom and me got certified together. I subsequently got an advanced certification. I went diving in several places in the Caribbean, Florida, Hawaii. That's about it. Mexico. Yeah. And that, I guess, would be considered the Caribbean, the part of Mexico that I was in. But I promised grandmother I would stop by my 70th birthday, and I stopped. My last dive was a shark tooth dive when they put a new roof on our house, all the crap came down. I had forgotten to get the teeth out of the way, and all this black crap came down on top of them, and almost everything that I got from that trip is now gone. It's in the trash somewhere. I'll never find it. And it's like, oh well. That was $200 I wasted, but hey, I had fun diving. It was fun. But I don't need to go to the bottom of the ocean now. And I know people that go, they want to go 150 feet down. It's crazy. There's not a lot of light. The best things at the bottom of the ocean are around 40 feet, unless you're diving wrecks. And I could care less about wrecks. Number 14, yoga and meditation. I have bought tapes and read books and all this stuff, and I don't do yoga. And I meditate, but I'll talk about that. So now I've come to the realization that when I get up in the morning, stretch, have a glass of water, and then dive in and have my first tea and then breakfast and all that. And for meditation, I meditate on an as-needed basis. I try to pray regularly, and I try to meditate. So when I'm driving the car, I might meditate and make sure that my body is relaxed, my hands are relaxed. I grit my teeth. I try to maintain a relaxed jaw and things like that. So they help my health and my vision for becoming who I want to be. Because even when you're 70, you still have dreams. You still want to make them come true. Or you die. I'm convinced of that. I meditate in bed. If I get up in the middle of the night, I can't get back to sleep, I meditate. So I do it when I need to. It's not like, oh, I'm setting an hour a day aside. And I know that your grandmother has a friend named Charlotte. I'm pretty sure she does an hour some days and a half an hour every day, where she just meditates. And God bless her. That's great. Number 15, reading the classics. I've always liked to read. I didn't always spend a lot of time doing it, but I recently read Ulysses. It was a great book. It took me almost 2 years to finish it. You know, I was reading it in the bathroom and then eventually reading it, while I was before I went to sleep at night and that kind of stuff. I don't usually just sit and read books during the day. I'm too busy doing other things, but I do love the classics. But you can listen to them. Now you can go on YouTube and find the whole, what's For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. I recently listened to that. So when I go out, ride my bike around, doing errands, or I go out for a hike, I might listen to a classic book. Do I get as much as reading it? In a way I do, and in a way I don't. And 16, finally, and there's a reason why I picked this as the last one, because it segues into my life as a YouTube. I'm not ever going to be a YouTube sensation, or I'm not going to go viral, but as somebody who presents to a very limited audience on YouTube, and that is Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a part-time job if you take it seriously. You go to meetings, and you get to do various tasks. And then you decide, okay, I'm going to go on this thing called the Pathway, and there's around 20 speeches that you have to give to complete that pathway. So you're going to draft a speech, and you're going to work on the speech, you're going to practice the speech, you're going to cut the speech down or add to it if, based on the time. It's a part-time job. And then people feel like you're not doing what you're supposed to do if you don't become an officer. And I don't have time for that. That's a full-time job. Those people spend a lot of time doing it, and that's great. That's great. But with any of these things, get what you need and get out. And that's what I did with Toastmasters. I still have friends there. There's a lot that I like about Toastmasters. There's some things that I didn't like so much, but hey, that's me. It's, and I did a whole video that was about an hour long on why I left Toastmasters. So I learned what I needed to learn, and then it was a little bit difficult because I have friends here, but I just went, it's time to just leave. Just say go. And that's true with all these things. You need to keep focus. How did I put it again? What advances me in my vision and helps me to maintain my health. With everything in life, even if you have a job that's not advancing your vision, you need to be looking for a new job. If you're going to school and you're learning something and you'll be able to make some money on it, but you know you're going to be miserable because it's not advancing your vision of what you want to be in your life. It might be a difficult decision, but make the decision. Jettison it. Just say go. Peace out.